in Georgia, there's a teacher that wants to overturn her firing. Her firing for reading a book to students about gender identity. So the Georgia public school teacher, she took the stand today. And she's trying to get this firing reversed because she believes that she didn't do anything wrong. She's been a teacher for 10 years. However, she got in trouble over the spring for reading a picture book. The book is called My Shadow is Purple. She was working at the Due West Elementary School in Cobb County. This is a very conservative district. Case has drawn wide attention, and this is probably a test of what public school teachers can and cannot teach in class. In addition to that, how much a school system can control teachers and whether parents can veto instructions that they dislike. So when I was in school, there was a curriculum. It was laid out. You knew what it was: math, English, science, social studies, stuff like that. But now it has grown to increase different things. And of course, history is part of that. That's controversial to people now, history. But this teacher was reading a book on gender fluidity to a 5th grade class. Now, I don't agree with that. I think the 5th graders are too young. Now, some people are going to say, oh, no, 5th graders are old. No, I think that they're too young for this. Now, this is probably not the first time that they've heard about the LGBTQ community in the 5th grade. But Katie Renderly has been teaching for 10 years. So she knew that this was something that was a sensitive topic, bare minimum. So there is a nationwide conservative backlash to books and teaching about LGBTQ plus subjects in school. I don't think that elementary school kids need this topic from their teachers. So according to her attorney, this termination is unrelated to education. The lawyer defending Ritterly says, now, it exists to create political scapegoats for the elected leadership of this district. Reading a children's book to children is not against the law. Now, we have to unpack that, and her attorney's name is Craig Goodmark. So listen, Mr. Goodmark is trying to say that the teacher, Renderly, is really the victim, and all she's doing is reading a children's book. No, you know that the topic of that book was sensitive and controversial. She knew it, but she thought, oh, it's a picture book. I got it here at the school fair, book fair, right? And she's trying to play dumb. But you're not dumb. You know better. Now, officials in Cobb County, which is Georgia's 2nd largest school district, argue that Renderly broke the school district's rules, and they have rules against teaching on controversial subjects, and fired her after complaints. So I don't think she should have been fired for this. Maybe suspended, maybe you check the book, you tell her don't read it again, whatever. But according to an attorney that's representing the school district, they said introducing the topic of gender identity or gender fluidity to the class that is filled with elementary grade students was inappropriate and violated the school district's policies. So, of course, she countered that reading the book wasn't wrong. No, you can read the book yourself, but reading it to the class, that's wrong. That's wrong. She testified that she believed it was appropriate. And not only did she believe it was appropriate, she claims that it was not a sensitive topic. So here's the thing. Either this teacher is too ignorant to be teaching, or she's a liar. Because she knew that it wasn't appropriate, and she daggone sure knew that it was a sensitive topic. This is a 5th grade class. However, she argued today that the book carried a broader message for gifted students, talking about their many interests and feeling that they should be able to choose any of their interests and explore all of their interests. Now, when you start talking like that, it makes people think about grooming. What is she saying? Okay? Kids don't need to be... This is not what should be in this book. Okay? This is not what should be read to these students. However, Cobb County adopted a rule back in 2022. Now, this rule barred the teaching of controversial issues in the classroom. Now, they had enacted a law earlier that year which prevented them from teaching divisive topics, and they created a Parents' Bill of Rights. Now, the Divisive Concepts Law, although it addressed teaching on race, bars teachers from espousing their personal political beliefs. You should not be drilling your beliefs into the students per se, right? Now, this includes upbringing and morale, just moral or religious training. This is not the place for that. Now, if you were in one of those religious schools, I suppose that the parents know what's going to be, implemented into the curriculum, and they're expecting that. When you had a Catholic school or a Christian school or a Jewish institution or a Muslim institution or wherever it is, you know what to expect. Now, parents definitely, we're talking about things that are definitely sensitive, and elementary school is not the place for it. Now, I don't want to act like these parents, that their kids don't know about this stuff. Like, they've heard about it before. Now, but going over it with the teacher, and it's kind of weird. Now, I don't have any kids, but I wouldn't want my 5th grader being read this book by the teacher. So, the controversial issues, according to the teacher and her attorney, they're saying that the controversial issues wording is vague. So she didn't know what was banned and what wasn't. You know that a book on gender fluidness is not acceptable. She knew that. But she continued to push. She's playing the victim role, right? She's a victim. Everybody's a victim. So this hearing took place under a Georgia law that protects teachers from being unjustifiably fired. So the justification, whether they have it or not, there's a panel of 3 retired school principals that will make a recommendation on whether to fire or retain her. The school board in this over 100,000 student district is going to make the final decision on Renderly and whether or not this teacher is fired. She can appeal any firing to the State Board of Education, ultimately to court. I think that she is going to be fired. But here's the thing. This is not her first time running afoul with the school board. The district lost confidence in her, they said, in part because she refuses to understand or acknowledge what she's done. Now, I agree with that. And, I'm liberal, but on this subject, I am very conservative. Now, she had to understand that this was a sensitive subject. But the school district is saying that she's failed to take responsibility for these actions. She's failed to apologize to parents, failed to apologize to the school principal, and this furthers the reasons why the district has lost confidence. I mean, because she's sitting there like, what? Gender fluidness is not a sensitive subject for 5th graders? What? Yeah, come on now. 10 years she's been a teacher. So, but repeatedly she said that she did not know what parents believed or what topics might be considered offensive. Okay. Now, I can understand why a family might want the chance to discuss this topic themselves at the age. What are you in the 5th grade? Are you I don't know, 11 years old? Are we talking about being gender fluid and I don't know. That's not something that I want discussed, and it is not needed for instruction of building these elementary school students. I don't know, and I while I don't think that they're introducing it for the first time, I don't think this is the first time students may have heard or had questions about this because of stuff that they've seen on cartoons or on shows. In this public school setting is not the place for it, but the district policies meant that Renderly should have gotten the principal to approve the book in advance and should have given parents a chance to opt their children out. The children were not given that. And Renderly said that students voted for her to read the book, which she bought at the school's book fair, and that it wasn't common practice to get picture books approved. If you have to get books approved, that means a picture book also. Like, she's giving answers that she would not accept from her students. The excuses that she's providing would not be acceptable to her if a student said it to her. Now, the district officials argued that Renderly should have known that the books were a sensitive area. Now, there was another situation earlier this year when the parents complained that she read Stacy's Extraordinary Words, which was also a picture book. Now, this one was not a problem, but they made it a problem, or at least some parents did. It was a picture book about a spelling bee, and it was by Stacey Abrams. Stacey was running for governor at that time. So I don't understand why it was an issue other than the fact that Stacey Abrams wrote it. And this is a conservative district. So Renderly said that her principal read the book and told her there was nothing wrong with it and that she would handle any complaints. It was a book about a spelling bee. You cannot equate a book by Stacey Abrams, a picture book by Stacey Abrams, which was about a spelling bee, and put that in the same lane as this gender fluid book. It's ridiculous. She knows that there's a difference. But she tried to draw some kind of correlation between these completely different books. Now, I can understand why the district is having issues with her because she thinks she's smart, but clearly she ain't that smart. So I think that she's going to end up appealing this. We're going to continue to see stories like this where teachers are going to be trying to push the envelope, and ultimately the school district is going to have the last say so. Parents should be teaching their children. Instruction shouldn't just stop once the kids leave school. Like, parents do need to be instructing, but parents also should have a say so in certain topics. Now, with regards to history of this country and what this nation has gone through since its founding, now they need to get the full story with regards to that. That's taught on a level of their age. But this particular topic on, gender identity and all of that kind of stuff, I don't think that 5th grades or elementary school students are ready for that type of discussion.